So, they found it again, have they? I thought we'd taken care of it.
The forces of evil are persistent, sir.
I'm getting too old for this. Who have we got lined up to deal with this problem?
Murphy, sir.
Oh, no, not Murphy.
Afraid so, sir.
What about Spade or Marlowe?
Dead, sir.
Isn't there anyone else?
Sorry, sir, he's next on the list.
Well, I suppose we'll have to make do. Knowing Murphy, he's going to need help. A lot of help.
I'll check the archives and get back to you, sir.
News of the day. As the Second World War enters its final days, Allied forces are on the march. The troops of the Western Alliance are occupied with the dangerous duty of ferreting out the remaining pockets of Nazi resistance. The storming of Berlin has crushed the heart of German opposition and sent remnants of the Fuhrer's troops scurrying into the dark reaches of the Black Forest. The Germans have vowed to fight to the last man in their quest for world domination. But their days are numbered, with Adolf Hitler dead and the once dreaded SS disbanded. The Allies have exposed the workings of the Nazi war machine and found it festering with ancient blood cults, whose rituals and ceremonies are too astonishing and barbaric to detail. Allied forces will not rest until the last cult member has been revealed and captured.
No pestilence has ever been so fatal or so hideous. Blood was its avatar and its seal, the redness and horror of blood.
In the moonlight, New San Francisco sparkles like a chunk of cubic zirconium, an island of hollow beauty surrounded by a red sea of radiation. 5 million souls drowning in gamma rays. Some lucky people have a natural immunity to genetic mutation caused by the radiation. I'm one of them. Most of them live in the new city, but I don't. I live among the unlucky souls, the mutants and the destitute, and the wreckage of old San Francisco. My name's Tex Murphy. I'm a private detective. Or at least I used to be. Since my marriage hit the rocks, I haven't done much of anything. I went out tonight for the first time in a week, but all I ended up doing was spending the last of my money on a bottle of cheap bourbon. Now it's past midnight, and I'm staring out of the window of my office on the second floor of the Ritz Hotel. Just like me, the Ritz used to be something. Now it's just another grimy building in a rundown part of town. And I'm almost out of bourbon.
My God, Murphy, you look like hell. Really hit bottom, didn't you?
Oh, I usually don't look this bad. I forgot to take my Geritol this morning. So, you want a drink? I saved my first one to have with you.
No, thanks. I've been dry for 8 years now. Yep, one morning I just looked in the mirror and decided I needed to make a few lifestyle changes. Quit smoking, quit drinking. Now I'm getting out of the business. Yep, I'm gonna move to the tropics and retire in a nice secluded island with a tribe of beautiful young women.
You're getting out of the business? I guess that means the end of the world must be around the corner because you are the detective. I can't imagine you doing anything else, especially not running around an island with a bunch of nubile women in a loincloth.
Oh, I can imagine it. I've been thinking about it for years now. Yeah. You know how it is. Lonely. Underappreciated. Dangerous. I haven't had a decent night's sleep in 38 years. I tell you, I'm working on a case right now, and that's going to be my last one. Oh. Enough about me. How about you, Tex? How's life treating you? Bad as it looks?
Well, it depends. What day is it anyway today? Saturday? Well, Saturdays aren't too bad. It's normally Thursday by the time I get really suicidal. So what is it you wanted? Just come by to sprinkle a little salt into the open wounds of my pathetic life?
No, Tex, you got me all wrong. Nah, just because you turned me in and got me suspended and humiliated me in front of my peers, you sold me out. But that's all gonna pass. See, I quit hating you for that weeks ago. Like I said, I'll be leaving soon, and I didn't want to go with any loose ends dangling there to bother me in my golden years.
Hey, don't worry about me. When you tossed me out of the agency, it was the best thing that ever happened. Digging through dumpsters and sleeping in abandoned speeders, you helped me learn a great lesson. Because no matter how bad things are, they can always get worse.
So what happened to you? I heard you were doing pretty well there for a while. Did a hell of a job on that Martian memorandum case. What's your problem? You one of those people who can't live with success? Huh?
Well, I can live with it. I'm just afraid of commitment. Now you tell me something. Why wouldn't you talk to me 15 years ago? I was a stupid kid back then. Could have tried to understand why I told the ethics board what I did. I mean, I understand now that I was out of line and I made a mistake, but why'd you cut me off like that?
Because apparently you never learned the first rule of a PI. And never, ever betray your friends. Now, friendship goes beyond blood and race and politics. You gotta find out who your friends are, then you hold on to them. They're a precious commodity to people like me and you. Now listen, before I go, I came here with a warning. I heard your name mentioned in connection with a case that I'm working on, and you stay out of it. If you don't, somebody's gonna find you floating in the bay with a hole in your head, and I don't need any more strain on my conscience.
You know, frankly, I'm pretty insulted. Because I'm a pretty damn good detective, and I can take care of myself, thank you.
No! Just remember what I said, Tex. Got no idea what kind of people we're dealing with here. Just keep out of my way. I'll send you a postcard.
So last night, after 15 years, the colonel walks into my office. It made me take a good hard look at myself. Maybe I have hit bottom, and maybe I do look like hell. Lord knows the only exercise I've had lately is tipping the bottle and flipping cards into my hat. I gotta find some work. Contrary to what the colonel might think, I'm as good a detective as he ever was. Now I just gotta prove it. I'm gonna scare up a job today, even if it means finding somebody's lost puppy. This pure mountain spring water is indispensable, literally. I'm out of paper cups. The Scotch Guard that Rudy's upholstering service put on my office chairs will stand up to anything, and I ought to know. The office was actually a dance studio before I moved in, and Latin dancing is a Murphy family tradition. Great-great-grandpa Murphy made it through the Depression by teaching cha-cha lessons to rich older women. He made thousands before the authorities found out he had no formal training. Ah, the closet door. All I've ever needed was a soft felt fedora, a well-tailored overcoat, and a comfy pair of sneakers. Some people know what they like, and they stay with it. Ah, the closet door. Stupid light switch is stuck in the on position. Could be worse, I guess. I call this painting The Big Spill. That's a perfect bed for a destitute PI. Small, lightweight, no sheets required. Well, since the building inspector has only one eye and no depth perception, the hotel manager painted fire extinguishers in all the apartments. It saved him a bundle. That hutch holds a life's worth of knickknacks, paddywhacks, and the world's largest piece of elbow macaroni. This piece of art is called Two Whales on a Bender. This one really isn't art, it's a placemat from Taco Bob's. The UI of U was the only place that would accept me. Half the course credit was earned by locating the university. I spent weeks earning this baby. Best 20 bucks I ever spent. CrimeLink Computer is the only valuable piece of equipment left in the office. By entering suspect information like height, weight, and hair color, I can access the suspect's personal files. My old reliable faux oak desk. Nothing in here but a stamp. One last $10 stamp waits patiently to be licked and mailed. This here is my favorite desk drawer. Nothing in here but a pen. This is probably the only writing utensil that works in the whole office. This here is my favorite desk drawer. Hip-hop English keeps me up on all the slang kids are using today. My phone would work perfectly if it hadn't been disconnected. Toxic Taste is a novel by Lou G. Trundle, the only mutant popular enough to make the New York Times bestseller list. I love murder mysteries. To be a fictional detective, everything would be so much simpler then. The fabulous Dior lamp. I bought it for 77 cents. World War IV. A dark and reactionary vision of the coming century by Rush Limbaugh III. Sylvia, my ex-wife. Whenever I think things can't get any worse, I think about her and how she totally screwed up my life. She's a woman who loves a man, any time. I'll never forget the day I came home early and caught her with the upholstery man.
Oh, there you are. I just got done with the chair. I'll be sending the bill to your husband.
Oh, Rudy. Let's not think about my husband right now. I was watching you upholster and you're so big and strong.
Do you really think so?
Well, yes. God, I've only known you for 10 minutes and I feel like I've known you forever. Oh, yes, look. And look at this muscle. Oh. The way you hold me, Tex never held me like this. Oh, kiss me, Rudy, and set my lips on fire.
Okay.
Oh, Tex, honey. I wasn't expecting you home so soon.
Well, duh. Obviously. Now I know why the Roto-Rooter man keeps calling and asking whether we need our plumbing checked. Well, I gotta admit, those chairs look pretty good.
Thanks. Listen, how about I don't charge you on the labor and we call it even?
Fair enough. But from here on out, Rudy, customer servicing doesn't include my wife.
See, honey? I saved you some money again. Aren't you happy?
I married her for better or worse. Unfortunately, it never got any better. I love my comfy chair. I just wish it wouldn't be so easy to tip over whenever I got drunk. This cabinet is where my old successes go to die. Nothing here but nostalgia. Oh, great. Another incoming message that won't print out. If I don't get a new fax machine, I'll be out of business. Things look pretty slow on the street today. My gun. I love it so much! The old trusty sidearm. Been with me since the beginning. You want some of this, huh? Bam, bam! Hey, bam, bam, bam! Bam! Bam, bam! Bam! And you! Hey, Sonny, can you help me out? My girlfriend threw my gun out of the window. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, just pick it up and, hey, don't point that thing up here. That's not a toy, you know. Oh, my hell. No matter how bad things got, I always had my gun. Now I've lost that, too. I have a feeling this is going to be one of those days. My phonograph's an old family heirloom. I love to play the classics. Kool and the Gang, Peaches and Herb. Oh boy, mail. Oh boy, mail. A pre-approved electronic shop credit card application addressed to the previous occupant. Just needs to be signed, stamped, and mailed. Now all this baby needs is a stamp. That's the door to the street. The air outside feels thick, like I'm breathing through a pair of dirty gym socks. It's a high radiation day. Most everyone will be staying inside, but I need to hunt for some work. I always like to start the day with the traditional PI breakfast. That hits the spot. The ruins of old San Francisco make for a bleak landscape. Chelsea runs a first-rate newsstand. Chelsea runs a first-rate newsstand. Chelsea's a hot little number. I hear she's a mutant, but it doesn't show. The only weird thing about her is she won't go out with me. Chelsea Bando's the kind that could hold her own with anyone, but she has a way of turning my knees to jelly. She's a mutant just like everyone else in this part of town, but she's a real beauty.
Well, hello, stranger.
Hey, sweetheart. Know anyone who could use my services today?
Well, I guess that depends on which services we're talking about, big guy.
So why don't you join me for a drink and I'll go over all the great services I have to offer.
Gee, Tex, you know, that kind of talk could get you into trouble. But I don't drink with customers.
It's painful the way you toy with my emotions, Chelsea.
Oh, please, Tex. So, is there something I can do for you? Rook acts like a tough guy, but he's a softie. Just don't tell him that to his face. Oh, you know me, Tex. I'm just making ends meet. I love Louis, but his friendliness doesn't fool me. He's a sharp one. He knows everything that's going on in this neighborhood. Franny's a live wire. Either she or Sal is going to do time for killing the other one. I have never seen a couple fight like they do. Sal's a handful. He's a nice guy, but I don't know, I feel kind of naked when he gives me the eye. Luckily, Ardo seems to like me. I mean, if I were on his bad side, I'd be tempted to relocate. He could crush a Subaru with one hand. Wish I could help you there, Tex.
Chelsea's a hot little number. I hear she's a mutant, but it doesn't show. The only weird thing about her is she won't go out with me.
What can I do for you, Tex?
The Bijou Theater used to be quite a night spot. It was condemned years ago and could collapse any day. There's no way I'm going in there. My trusty 31 Lightning Bolt speeder. I still regret not getting the sunroof option. On the top floor of this place is where I hang my hat. It's not much, but it's better than... well, it's not much. This is the brand new electronic shop outlet. No pun intended. I won't be able to get inside the electronic shop until I get a membership card. Surprisingly, the auto post box has no graffiti on it. Maybe people around here are finally starting to respect our government and its fine agencies. The Postal Service has gotten much faster since the stamp price went to $10. I should get my credit card back tomorrow morning. Some of this devastation came from the Barney the Dinosaur Museum. No one was too upset when it became one of the first structures to get blasted in the war. Everyone refers to this stuff as Barney rubble. Rook Garner runs this pawn shop. Rook Garner runs this pawn shop. Rook Garner runs this pawn shop. He's a crusty old World War III vet with a face like a raisin and a tongue like a butcher's cleaver.
What do you want, Murphy?
Looks like someone didn't get enough fiber in his breakfast this morning.
Shut up, Murphy. The last thing I need right now is a yappy-mouthed wise guy.
Sorry, you just look like you could stand to be lightened up a bit.
I just got my wallet lightened. Does that count? Last night someone broke into my pawn shop. I don't usually have anything of great value, but yesterday I gave out a fair amount of cash for an extremely valuable diamond bracelet.
My deductive powers tell me the bracelet's no longer on the premises.
Brilliant work, Murphy.
When you're a seasoned PI, you pick up on these things. Now go on.
The bracelet was pawned by a young girl named Emma Nimpton. She said she hated to hawk a family heirloom, but had no choice. She said she would reclaim the bracelet in a month. Well, since the bracelet was worth 10 times the 8,000 I loaned her, it was a good deal for me.
I think you've been played for a sap, Rook.
Maybe. She left me a number and I called it this morning, but the line is disconnected.
So do you have any leads on recovering the bracelet?
No, the police are a waste of time, and I can't afford to hire a decent PI.
I guess this means you don't consider me good enough to help track down the bracelet?
I'd appreciate your help. I'm not a rich man, but if you find the bracelet, I'll owe you a few favors, which could come in handy. Come back here and I'll show you where they broke in.
Rook takes me out back and shows me where the burglar broke in. The back window is busted out and the latch is ripped. It's a sloppy job. As I start my investigation, I'm looking for information to enter into my CrimeLink computer back at the office. One thing's for sure, Emma Nimpton won't be one of the suspects' names. Every PI worth his salt knows that's not my name spelled backwards. Well, that's the sturdy, worm-eaten back door to Rook's pawn shop. This building that Rook runs his pawn shop out of is at least 120 years old, making it only slightly younger than Rook. Well, obviously, the window was broken from the outside. Shard of glass must have come from that broken window. Now we're starting to get somewhere. Looks like whoever broke into Rook's window left one of his hairs behind. Apparently our burglar is a Carrot Top. The empty bottles of chocolate syrup lying all around this alley all look like they've been licked clean. These are empty jumbo-sized cans of Camel's chunky chocolate soup. Good. Looks like a shoe print is outlined in that sticky pool of something resembling chocolate. Footprints about a size 14. Like Rook always says, you can cut corners here and there, but there's nothing like a quality garbage can. Looks like a key of some kind. These disgusting piles of trash remind me of Aunt Betty's annual yard sales. Whoever uses these garbage cans is either a terrible shot or is saving them for that special piece of trash. Whatever's on the other end of this power box must be out of commission. The gauge is as dead as my love life. Reminds me of playing hoops when I was younger, in the days before my lower vertebrae turned into petrified rock. It's one of those basketballs they used to give away at Weenie World. 10 seconds left, down by 1. Murphy has the ball. He fakes, he drives. It's a 360! He's fouled! Well, that steep staircase looked really hard to climb. This chain link fence doesn't seem to do much, except separate Rook's ugly half of the alley from Franny's ugly half of the alley. feels like somebody's watching. Someone really weird. Wow, a recyclable paper can. Finally, a glimmer of ecological responsibility. I didn't know Rook cared. Whoa! This antique boombox worked. I bet it'd only play the Bee Gees. This old relic probably hasn't worked in years. Hey, there are batteries in here. I wonder if these still work. Tingly tongue. Still got juice. Oh man! This dumpster smells like 20-year-old mayonnaise, and I ought to know. Well, I'll be darned. Except for the filth and stench, the interior isn't much different than the average studio apartment. In fact, it's nicely furnished. Someone's been living here, and I wonder if he saw anything. Oh, I would love to see my ex-mother-in-law squeeze through there.